Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to look at the story of Triumph. This is the first video in our series looking at iconic British brands. I thought it would be interesting to take a look at some of the most famous brands from the UK and how they started out, because there are some great stories in there. So if you like this kind of thing, then please do subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of the videos. So let's get into the story of Triumph. The story of Triumph is an incredible one. There have been many highs and many lows over the years, but none more low than the time when it was on the verge of bankruptcy. It seemed all but certain that the company would cease to exist, but a management buyout saved the day and has led to its current success. The brand still manufactures motorcycles today and also owns a number of other brands under its umbrella. The story of Triumph can be traced back to 1861. This was when two brothers, George and Joseph, set up a small engineering business. They were based in a small shed at the back of their house. At this point, they had no intention of creating a motorcycle or bicycle brand. In 1865, however, the brothers had an idea that would change everything. They decided to combine their skills with those of a local gunsmith. Together, they would make a velocipede, which is a type of early bicycle. They called their new venture the Coventry Lever Tricycle Company after the English town of Coventry where they had their workshop. In 1868, the company came up with an improved version of the velocipede. They called this the Bone Shaker. Its frame was made from steel tubing rather than wood, making it much stronger. For several years, the company grew steadily, building tricycles and bicycles. However, by the 1890s, the business needed to expand if it wanted to stay competitive. At this point, several large companies had entered the bicycle market, including Peugeot, Singer, and Raleigh. Triumph decided to diversify and start producing engines for bicycles. In doing so, they inadvertently created the world's first motorcycle. By the end of the century, there were several different models of Triumph motorcycles. However, demand for them remained relatively low. This was partly due to the expense involved, and partly because the general public feared riding motorcycles. At the outbreak of World War II, Triumph stopped producing motorcycles and instead manufactured munitions for the war effort. This was in keeping with what most businesses did at the time. After the war, however, Triumph got back to producing motorcycles. The company was now based in a factory in Meriden, England. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, Triumph motorcycles were popular around the world. They became particularly well known in America, where the company had built a factory in 1937. During this period, Triumph produced a number of different models. These included the Speed Twin, the Tiger Cub, and the Bonneville. The company was now a major player in the motorcycling industry. However, the good times did not last forever. By the 1970s, Triumph was in serious financial trouble. It was losing money hand over fist, and it looked like the company would soon go out of business. This was due to a number of factors. Firstly, the oil price had risen dramatically in 1973, making it more expensive to manufacture motorcycles. Secondly, people were buying fewer motorcycles. This was because cars were becoming more affordable. Thirdly, the Japanese motorcycle manufacturers were becoming more competitive. Finally, Triumph had failed to adapt to changing customer tastes. The motorcycles it was producing were no longer what customers wanted. As a result of these problems, Triumph had to close its American factory in 1974. 2 years later, the company was bought out by a Canadian company called Leva. Despite this, Triumph continued to lose money. In 1977, the company was placed in receivership and it looked like it was about to go out of business. However, a group of workers led by one of the directors, John Ashworth, bought the company. They paid £150,000 for the assets of the company. Triumph was now employee-owned. At this point, there were only two models available, the Trident and the Bonneville. The workers set about trying to turn the company around. They introduced a new model in 1980 called the 1500. This was a bigger and more powerful bike that appealed to a growing segment of the market. In 1983, Triumph was able to move to a new and larger factory in Hinckley. This was a big boost to the company as it allowed them to increase production. In 1986, Triumph was able to launch another new model. This was the Daytona. It was a sports bike that was designed to compete with the best from Japan. The 1990s were good years for Triumph. The company continued to grow, and it was able to introduce several new models. These included the Trophy, the Speed 4, and the Rocket 3. The company also began exporting its motorcycles to other countries. This helped to boost sales even further. In 1997, Triumph was bought by a German company called BMW. This gave Triumph access to more capital and expertise. However, Triumph was still run independently. Its motorcycles were still designed and built in Hinckley. In 2001, Triumph introduced a new engine. This was the 1050C Triple. It was a unique engine as it was the first of its kind to be used in a motorcycle. The engine was so good that Triumph decided to use it in several models. This included the Speed Triple, the Daytona, and the Rocket 3. In 2007, Triumph introduced its first ever adventure bike, the Tiger. The bike was designed to appeal to the growing adventure biking market. It was based on the Triumph 1050C Triple platform and featured long travel suspension and spoked wheels. Since then, Triumph has gone from strength to strength. The company has introduced several new models, including the Scrambler, the Bobber, and the Rocket 3. These bikes have been well received by critics and have helped to boost sales even further. Today, Triumph employs over 2,000 people. It is one of the largest motorcycle manufacturers in the world. The company has a turnover of over £1 billion. Its motorcycles are sold in over 70 countries. In addition to its motorcycle business, Triumph also owns a number of other brands. This includes Triumph Motorcycles America and Triumph Motorcycles Australia. The company also has a number of subsidiaries, including Triumph Engineering and Triumph Powertrain. Triumph is a truly iconic British brand. It has a rich history dating back to 1861. The company has been through a lot of ups and downs, but it has always managed to survive. Today, Triumph is a global brand, and its motorcycles are loved by riders all over the world. The brand is synonymous with quality and performance, and it shows no signs of slowing down. As we look to the future, we can be confident that Triumph will continue to produce great motorcycles for years to come. The Triumph story is an amazing one. A small family business that started out making bicycles ended up being the biggest motorcycle manufacturer in the world. It's a testament to the hard work and dedication of the people who have worked for Triumph over the years. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do leave a comment below. And if you want to see more videos like this, then please do subscribe. Thank you very much.